Next, let's look into what Scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions are and how we go about tracking them. So, looking first at Scope 1 emissions are direct emissions that result from the combustion of fuels directly on site or in company-owned vehicles. Scope 1 emissions also result from fugitive emissions, such as the leakage of refrigerants, evaporation of fuels stored on site, methane gas leakage, and certain farming processes. Looking next at Scope 2, a company's Scope 2 emissions are the indirect greenhouse gas emissions associated with the purchase of electricity, steam, heating, or cooling that a company uses at their facilities. These are upstream indirect emissions and are generated off-site by a third party. And lastly, Scope 3 emissions are all other indirect emissions that result from the company's activities, specifically across its value chain and supply chain. These are usually harder to control because they are another company's emissions. Upstream emissions are the emissions caused by the production of goods and services before the reporting company purchases them. And downstream emissions are the emissions that result from products and services that the reporting company sells to its customers. This category also includes activities like business travel, employee commuting, and waste from company operations. For healthcare in particular, Scope 3 may include upstream activities such as the procurement of medical supplies and equipment, and downstream activities like treatment of waste disposal. The focus of this course will be on Scope 1 and 2 emissions, which are often grouped together as the emissions most directly under a company's control. Scope 1 and 2 will be the operational boundary for your greenhouse gas footprint quantification in this lesson. You'll cover Scope 3 emissions in a later lesson, so no need to worry about that for now. But here's a look at the 15 upstream and downstream categories that make up Scope 3 indirect emissions. Next, in your self-guided portion, you will be introduced to our example companies, which will help you apply the concepts you'll be learning in today's lesson and also throughout this course.